This is the ultimate form of Universe 2's glamorous champions. While our mortal level may not be the highest, the power of our love is the greatest in all the cosmos! Woohoo!
Universe 7 was being graced by enormous times of peace. 4 months had passed after the events of Red Ribbon's return, with her androids and Cell Max, a situation that had caused several problems for our warriors, but which was fortunately resolved by Piccolo and Gohan, who had overcome their limits. Now, the land was finally enjoying the time of peace it still had, as it is more than obvious that this peace never lasted for so long. But while that didn't happen, everyone on Earth was enjoying their lives to the fullest. Krillin had been promoted in his career as a police officer, Gohan had advanced in his research and been elected Man of the Year, and Tien was expanding his art academy, martial arts, to other parts of the world. But what about Goku? What is he doing? Well, he was training with his granddaughter Pan, who was learning martial arts from her grandfather, and noting that the girl possessed some talent, Goku didn't miss the chance to explore her skills and potential. Goku said, "Very well, Pan, you are doing very well. Your development in the art of fighting is incredible. You definitely have your father's talent, ha ha ha," Goku commented, paying high praise to his granddaughter. Pan said, "Ah, Grandpa, you know I don't like being praised for no reason. We haven't made any real progress until now. When will I learn to fly? When will I be able to release energy blasts? Or rather, when will I be able to perform the Kamehameha?" Goku said, "See, calm down, Pan. Look, I know you're anxious and want to learn different things, but the most important thing right now is to learn martial arts. You understand? When you manage to get your body used to the art of fighting, the connection with Ki becomes even more remarkable. Understand? The more you improve with martial arts, the better your development with Ki will be." While grandfather and granddaughter were arguing, another very peculiar situation was occurring in another universe, in a more specific way, in Universe 2. The goddess of destruction, Helis, was sitting on her throne in her palace in the shape of an Egyptian pyramid. It was a place extremely disproportionate, and one of the reasons for this is because the pyramid is located close to a singularity in space. The goddess was enjoying the grapes that her subjects were putting in her mouth, while she just showed an expression of boredom and disgust at the situation. She liked to be revered, but lately she didn't feel as many emotions as she had felt when she witnessed the fights in the Tournament of Power, especially the fights of the warrior called Goku, in which the goddess had a certain interest. Despite her strange personality, she liked her appearance, and for the goddess, this was an extremely important point, as she hated people with degrading appearance. At the same moment, her guardian, the angel called Sour, manifests his presence in the place in a calm and subtle way, about to express his beautiful, cohesive voice to the goddess. Sour said, "Hello, Helis. I can see that you still remain bored and sad. Any reason for that? As much as I think, I can't understand why a goddess of destruction would be sad. After all, you are a goddess who is revered and loved by the mortals of your universe, aren't you?" said Sour, who had made his comment with a hint of sarcasm. Helis said, "Ah, Sour, are you here? I hadn't even realized it. Anyway, I'm glad you came. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to take me to Universe 7. Sour said, "You leaving your palace? It is a very rare thing to be allowed to say, madam. And on top of that, you want me to take you to a universe with such a low death force rating? Interesting. The individual or artifact that attracts you must be quite intriguing. If I may know, I would like to have the knowledge of what intrigues you so much." Helis said, "What intrigues me so much? Well, let's say I have an interest in a specific mortal in Universe 7, the mortal who impressed everyone in the Tournament of Power. Son Goku, in fact, he intrigues me a lot, in addition to being someone with a beautiful appearance, and that is already a reason for me to be interested." Sour, who was just watching the goddess, showed a small smile and hit his staff on the ground, opening a rift in space-time. Helis, who was amazed every time she saw something like this, could not hide her emotion when she saw such beauty. She was obsessed with these space phenomena. Now that Sour had agreed to take her to Universe 7, she could finally meet Son Goku once again, and maybe even have a little fight with him. Helis had finally entered the rift together with Sour. For Helis, this type of trip was incredible, as she could glimpse the wonders of the universe in the blink of an eye, and in such a quick and exciting way, and that in her eyes was extremely beautiful. Having then finally arrived at Universe 7 instantly, so that no fuss would arise, the goddess decided to completely hide her presence, as her intention was was to see only the mortal named Son Goku and not other people, so she just followed the energy of the universe. Mortal that intrigued her and moved on. Meanwhile, Goku had finished training with his granddaughter Pan a few hours ago and now remained in a forest resting and thinking about the next classes he would have with his granddaughter. Goku had never played the role of master in his life, and in a way he didn't feel ready before, but now he finally realized that he was no longer a student, but a master. He felt good about this because he could finally teach everything he had learned throughout his life to his granddaughter, a girl who was extremely interested in fighting and who in some ways was a little like him, but of course she was also human, and consequently he had more interest in these things about women that he didn't understand at all, but that made her happy, and for him that was more than enough. While resting, a huge curtain of wind had cut through the tree that Goku was lying on, and Goku only had time to dodge the attack, because otherwise it could have caused severe damage to him. Being confused by what attacked him, he immediately looks in every possible direction and tries to track the individual's ki, but his attempts are all unsuccessful. Instantly, Goku sees a woman with a strange appearance appearing in front of him, and she was accompanied by a man with the same clothes as Whis. This helped Goku to discern that it was an angel. Goku said, "Who are you? What do you want? Where did they come from?" said an extremely serious Goku, already putting himself in his classic combat pose. Helis said, "Calm down, mortal. My name is Helis. We already know each other. Don't you remember the events of the Tournament of Power? I am the goddess of destruction of Universe 2, to all-powerful and magnificent Helis. My beauty alone cannot be compared to myself, whom the totality and incarnation of all the beautiful things in the world." Helis spoke, raising his hands in the air and shaking his locks of hair as a sign of self-care. Sour said, "Hello, Son Goku. I apologize for the sudden appearance. I didn't want to launch that attack, but Helis had ordered me to do so as a sign of courtesy." Goku said, "Ah, the goddess of love, Helis, huh? I remember now. I had interesting fights with mortals from your universe. They were incredible opponents." Helis said, "Naturally, they would be incredible after all. They were personally guided by me, and because they are naturally beautiful, they are extremely strong. But talking about the mortals of my universe wasn't the reason I was here, so I'll be brief with you. Son Goku, I want to have a fight with you. To be more specific, I want you to consider this more than a fight. Consider this as something special between us, understand?" Helis spoke with his hands placed on his waist and a wicked smile on his face. Goku said, "Special? I consider all my fights special, whether they have good results or not. After all, a martial artist is always looking for self-improvement, so you can rest assured. This is sure to be something special. I also want to fight with you. Having a battle against a goddess of destruction is a tremendous honor," said Goku, putting himself in his combat pose, waiting for Helis to make his move. Goku was just waiting for Helis to make her first move. After all, she was a goddess, and he felt he needed to evaluate her combat style and abilities. Otherwise, he could suffer severe damage. He didn't feel 100% prepared to fight a god of destruction, as Goku knew they were absurdly strong and brutal in battle, but that only made him more excited, even though they were really unpredictable opponents. But anyway, it was a fight, and in a fight it's not always about being stronger or having more transformations. Goku had learned that a long time ago, and he would use all his techniques to try to win or at least provide entertainment to the crowd. Goddess. While Goku analyzed the goddess, Helis advanced on the Saiyan at an absurd and surreal speed by human standards, even for the Z warriors and for himself, who had barely managed to react to Helis' advance. Despite this sudden advance, Helis just remained motionless, having a static and at the same time analytical expression. She was thinking about what the Saiyan was going to do, but he surprised her because he had made a wise choice, which was the choice of not have made no movement. Helis was going at 100% in that advance, and if Goku had also gone to confront her, he would definitely be dead by now. Helis said, "You are truly impressive. Beerus did not exaggerate anything in the comments he made about you. In addition to being an experienced warrior, he knows the moments when he should or should not attack. This is extremely important for a warrior. Furthermore, you know how to recognize your limits at certain times, which is what just happened. You were very smart not to attack me." Helis commented, pointing out the tremendous experience that Goku had in combat and how this fascinated her. Goku said, "I knew I couldn't underestimate you. After all, you're a goddess, aren't you? No sane mortal would do such a thing. And as much as I like fighting strong people, I also know how to recognize moments moments when I'm close to death, and this was definitely one of those moments. Goku spoke with a trembling smile and at the same time happiness on his face. Helis just smiled in response to Goku's comment and walked away from the Saiyan again. This time she wouldn't make simple movements. To start the fight again, Helis summoned a huge ball of energy, but it wasn't just any energy, it was Hakai. This ball of energy was gigantic in size. Its size was equivalent to the size of a planet. However, Helis was only using 4% of her power, and Goku was unaware of it. However, Goku finally realized something. She was launching this attack to destroy the planet. If the Saiyan couldn't take the Earth's energy, everything would explode in the blink of an eye, and that was a huge problem. Goku said, "What are you doing? Are you crazy? You will destroy the Earth. You don't need to perform this type of attack. We can fight without intending to destroy the planet." Goku spoke, putting all the strength he could into his voice, expressing how desperate the Saiyan was. Helis said, "Now if they call you the protector of the Earth, the least you should do is defend attacks like this that prevent its destruction, right? Don't get me wrong, Son Goku, I don't hate or have anything against you or this planet, but I'm not going to hold back my attacks just because of a ridiculous planet like this." Helis said. His face seemed to have a look of repugnance and disgust at the Saiyan's comment. Goku realized he couldn't change her mind, so he just went with the flow of things and started preparing. He tied his feet to the ground so that he wouldn't be blown away by the huge wind that the attack would cause. Raising his hands forward, all Goku hoped was that he could counter the attack. Normally, Goku found these types of attacks easy to defend, but as she was a goddess, the situation was more serious, and obviously a collision between the energy ball and her own hands would occur, and the goddess would certainly not give up on doing so, that this attack can touch the ground. Helis looked at Goku and the entire planet. She was a considerable distance away from Goku and the planet, and the reason was quite simple. She didn't want her attire and her beautiful transcendental beauty to be tarnished by the debris of a planet. She observed that Goku was finally ready to receive the attack, and then in the blink of an eye, she finally launched the attack towards the Saiyan, who was waiting for him with determination in his eyes. The ball of energy quickly came close to Goku and collided with his hands. The Saiyan fought to be able to push away the gigantic ball of energy and prevent it from reaching the ground. But this task seemed to be impossible, because no matter how strong it was, the Saiyan put it on. The energy just got more and more violent and stronger. Goku could feel it piercing his skin in extremely painful ways. But of course the Saiyan wouldn't let himself be defeated by something as simple as that. How many times have they tried? Destroy the Earth with this type of attack, and he had simply not been able to repel it. He was determined and wouldn't give up so easily, and that's when Goku activates his Ultra Instinct, pushing the ball of energy with all his Divine Ki. As the minutes went by, Goku realized that he shouldn't put Divine Ki in his hands, but rather inside the energy ball itself, as that was an energy of destruction. The positive energy he possessed could allow him to have control of that gigantic ball. And with that in mind, he did so. It was working. Goku was in full control of the energy. All he needed to do was suppress all that energy to a tiny state. He managed to succeed, and the energy completely disappeared, leaving no trace of destruction on the planet. Helis said, "I'm impressed. You analyzed the situation coldly like a true warrior, and immediately realized what you should do. It's no coincidence that I admire you so much. You're someone so interesting, Son Goku," Helis commented, who seemed to be excited by the reaction Goku had to his attack. Goku still remained in his Ultra Instinct. He just looked at the goddess, who seemed to be satisfied with his fighting performance. In an instant, it was possible to see the goddess and her dazzling beauty heading towards the Saiyan, and without sparing any type of conversation, she advances towards him and collides her elbow with Goku's, and soon after Goku tries to throw a knee at him. Her face and Helis defends the attack, and Goku's action makes her angry because he had the audacity to try to attack her magnificent and immutable face, and she could not allow that. To punish the Saiyan, Helis manifested his bow and arrow made of ki and shot an arrow towards the Saiyan, who only hoped to defend the attack by holding the arrow. But such was his surprise to discover that the tip of the arrow had pure Hakai energy that unexpectedly made the Saiyan return to his base form. Helis was walking towards him, who was trying his best to free himself from those ropes. He knew that Helis wasn't joking and that she wasn't holding back her attacks, so the chance of him dying in that state was high. The moment Helis arrived and grabbed the Saiyan, she looked directly at him with a look of disappointment. Helis spoke. "That's a shame, brave warrior Son Goku! I planned great things for you. You could be my servant and have the great honor of being by my side. A goddess can feel quite lonely, you know, but I see that you are someone with great determination, and that is certainly better than just having a servant who doesn't have anything interesting, and whose only characteristic is to serve. And that's why I'm interested in you. You fascinate me. You're an exceptional warrior, and we could do a lot of things together. What do you think? It's an incredible proposal, said Helis, who with every word he said seemed to demonstrate his immense desire to have the Saiyan by his side. Goku said, "Thank you, but I'm not interested. I already have a life, and I certainly can't spend it being with you. I'm really sorry. I know that you are an extremely powerful goddess and that you could kill me here if you wanted, but I cannot give up my life and my freedom just for that. My family and the life I have built are more important than emotions like fear, which is what mortals feel towards the gods." Helis just smiled, already expecting this response from someone as noble as him, and to reward him for giving such an answer, she unexpectedly kisses him, which left Goku extremely confused. He really didn't understand what was going on. Helis ends the kiss and calls out to Sour, who was in another part of the capital of the West, trying some local food. He instantly appears in place, waiting for his lady to proceed with the next order. Hel said, "You are an excellent man, without a doubt the best I have ever met. The determination and willpower you demonstrated today surpass any beauty, and that makes you someone quite beautiful. The words you said here today were magnificent. I see that you value your life a lot. Many mortals would not refuse this offer, since I'm an extremely beautiful goddess who naturally seduces men and women with my phenomenal appearance. But you proved that a facial appearance you can't always get everything you want, and that is something more beautiful than any other beauty." "You were excellent, congratulations," said Helis, who was approaching Sour, withdrawing from the earth in the blink of an eye. Goku definitely didn't understand what had just happened, but either way, he was happy, both for the fight he was able to have and for the new friendship he had formed. Guys, now I want to know from you, did you like the story of Helis, the goddess of destruction of Universe 2? Do you want to see more of her here on the channel? Comment and of course leave your like and subscribe to the channel. Bye!